Welcome on into the sports news here on Channel 57. A lot of ground to cover today, but first we're going to start with the headlines, which are powered by the Red Zone over on Regent Street and Conan Automotive in Stoughton. Yes, sit tight. The headlines next, right here on the sports news on Channel 57 Sports. Hello and welcome to the sports news, your 30-minute look into the tackles, hits, checks, and dunks that make up the local sports scene. I'm your host, Rich Reynolds. Let's hit the ground running. Football. Yes, even in July. Let the word just sink in a bit as we are days away from training camps opening around the National Football League and just a few weeks from preseason games. Now, as we wait for the 2016 rendition of NFL and NCAA football, state all-stars were busy filling the void at the 40th edition of the Wisconsin Football Coaches Association All-Star Games at Titan Stadium at UW-Oshkosh. Now, in the large school game, the South beat the North 17-7 as they were led by several local stars, including Middleton's Cam Molly, who will be playing on Saturdays at UW-Whitewater. Molly had 69 yards on 20 carries and 2 touchdowns. Mount Horeb Barneveld's quarterback Max Mailer, who's heading to D2 Lindenwood, was 4 for 4 passing for 26 yards. The small school game saw plenty of offense, including Lake Mills quarterback Colin Moen tossing a 34-yard touchdown strike for the South, but it wasn't enough as the North prevailed 28-24. And in the 8-man game, the North cruised 48-14. Well, from feel-good football news to, well, not so good, as former Green Bay Packer running back Damon Parker was sentenced to 1 year and 1 day in prison after pleading guilty to a federal drug charge. Parker, who played 19 games for the Packers in 1999 and 2000, was accused of selling crack cocaine to a police informant in Tulsa. Parker was selected in the 5th round by the Packers out of Oklahoma in the '99 draft. Local athlete makes good. Yes, that's a headline that we all love to hear. And for Heather Miller Cook of Columbus, Wisconsin, it's more than a headline, it's now her reality. Miller Cook qualified for Rio last week at the Olympic trials in Eugene, Oregon, as she finished second in the heptathlon just 4 years after finishing a distant 12th. Miller Cook, who was a 2005 graduate of Columbus High School, won state titles in the long jump, triple jump, and 1,600-meter relay during her prep days. Opening ceremonies in Rio are August 5th, while the women's heptathlon will take place August 12th and 13th. Championship weekend in the American Ultimate Disc League will be in Madison in a couple weeks, and games that you could see right here on Channel 57, as will the quarterfinal contest, which is now set as the undefeated Madison Radicals will put their unblemished 14-0 record on the line as they host the Pittsburgh Thunderbirds Saturday night at Breese Stevens Field. The Radicals have been runners-up in the league 3 straight years. And the catch that was a catch but isn't a catch was a hot topic this past week. Am I talking about the Des Bryant catch against the Packers in the playoffs, or the Jazz Peavy catch maybe against Northwestern in last year's Badger home finale? Well, yes and yes, as the NFL's senior vice president of officiating, Dean Blandino, met with officials to discuss catch rules with refs from the Big Ten, Missouri Valley, and MAC conferences in Chicago last week. The result of all those discussions, well, nothing. The official ruling continues to be that it's a gray area and not much can be done. I guess too bad there isn't a common sense rule. Well, for more information and all the 411 on our headlines, check out these fine websites. Stick around, we've got a jam-packed show as we'll talk with 360 Athletics, Middleton long distance running, the Madison Radicals, and we go on the ice with Ben Cohen next on the sports news here on Channel 57 Sports. And no matter how hot it is outside, it has been pretty hot lately. It's nice to go inside, cool off a little bit at the Oregon Ice Arena as we bring Ben in, who is back joining us. And Ben, let's talk about skating a little bit, because that's a nice thought, actually, to cool off a little bit. How about skating school? What do you got going on there?
Well, thanks, Rich. Thanks for having me. Nice intro, by the way. So skating school, we have a skating school program. It's every Wednesday night at 5:45. It pretty much runs year-round. It's a really good intro to skating. They have tons of different levels. So whether you're 2, 3, 4 years old or you're 70, they have programs for you. It's pretty interesting. So they'll do, like, if you're just beginning to skate, they have like different levels that you can test out of. So you're always progressing and and feeling that progression, which is, important for us, because that way, we feel like we're getting better, which in skating school you do.
Absolutely. And then what about for some of us that don't have air conditioning, just want to beat the heat a little bit? Is there open skating?
Yeah, we have open skating throughout the summer and then into early fall on Saturdays from 2 to 4. If that ever changes, you can just check out the website at OregonIceArena.com.
Always good stuff. Now, there's a publication out called Let's Play Hockey. What's kind of like your involvement? What is that all about?
So this is like the most exciting thing that On Ice Promotions has done probably in the last couple of years for sure. So we've contracted with Let's Play Hockey, which Let's Play Hockey is a magazine out of Minnesota. They print 10 to 11,000 copies per issue. They do 29 issues a year. Roughly 100,000 people will read this issue, like each issue, because they sit around hockey ranks, and it's kind of the go-to for all like junior hockey rankings, college hockey rankings, mainly Minnesota stuff. But what we've done, and it's the first time in history, is we've actually, like I said, contracted with them to do a 2-page section exclusively for Wisconsin hockey. So now we'll be able to promote our programs, our players, our youth organizations, our camps, clinics, Coach's Corner, to an audience that's throughout the Midwest. So, I mean, like I said, this is probably the most exciting thing that we've done, at least in the last couple of years.
Yeah, I think people might not understand how big of a deal that is. I mean, there's 2 pockets of hockey, it seems like, in this country, like around the Boston area and the Minnesota area, where they think they're kind of, separate unto themselves kind of a thing. So to get Wisconsin hockey involved in something like that really is a big deal, isn't it?
Oh my God, it's huge for us. It'll change the dynamic of, especially like, for us, parent education, that's a big one. Now we'll have a platform to be able to educate parents, on a much wider scope. The one thing in all of hockey is, parents, you come into it, and you don't really know what's going on. You come in and, your kid's 3 to 7 years old, just getting started. You really have no idea what the next steps are, what all hockey entails, from, playing in your youth organization to, then high school to juniors to, semi-pro, college, professional. This publication will really give us the avenue to set those building blocks in place, so you as a parent will have an understanding of how your kid's going to progress in hockey.
And that's great stuff, because if you're not a generational hockey family, sometimes it can be intimidating to jump into. So
yep.
That is terrific news. So Ben, thanks so much for joining us. Thanks for the update. Good stuff as always.
Yep, take care.
Brought to you by Conant Automotive, taking care of you by taking care of your family's car.
Well, it seems like we talk about the Madison Radicals and the Ultimate Disc League all the time on our headlines. It's finally nice to have a player come in, and if you're going to get a player, why not get the team captain, as Pat Schreiwise is here to talk Madison Radicals Ultimate Disc League Frisbee with us here a little bit. And Pat, you guys did a great job this season. Can't do much better. 14-0. How does it feel to finish off a undefeated regular season?
Good. It feels really good. I mean, we executed really well throughout the whole season. There were a couple of games where we were a little shorthanded, and we managed to pull us out anyways. So it's a really good sign for the depth of our team, for sure.
Absolutely, and now you guys get to play it. It's Pittsburgh. The Thunderbirds are coming in for a chance to be in the AUDL Final Four. How do you feel you guys match up against them?
Well, I think we'll match up against them well. They always come to Madison, and they play us really hard. They're definitely our in-division rival lately in the last couple of seasons, and we're excited for that game.
Yeah, I know when I was talking with Tim, before the season, during the season, those Pittsburgh games were the big ones, and so now you get to see them in the playoffs as well. I know a lot of fans are catching on to this. What do you think, as far as fan-wise, makes Ultimate Disc so much fun to watch?
There's a lot of big plays. And people get really excited about those. They get to watch from Breese Stevens Stadium, and our fan base is just awesome. We absolutely love how much energy they bring to the games and how much energy they give us. They love to see big plays in the end zone, the big layouts, the big skies, all that stuff. So
I know you guys have had to go on the road before for championship games. This year, if you make it to the championship, which we're all hoping for, you get to play it right at Breese Stevens Field in Madison. How cool is that? What kind of advantage is that for you?
That's super exciting for us. It puts a little bit of pressure on us, of course, to make a good showing and definitely be there for the Final Four weekend, but we're ready to rise to that challenge, and we're so excited to have it in Madison.
Yeah, speaking of challenges, you guys have been there over the last 3 years. what would it really mean to you, and a guy who's been on the team, for the last 4 seasons, to get over the hump and win the championship?
It would be huge. I think it'd be really big. Madison's had kind of a resurgence in the ultimate community at large, and we want to keep that going, and that would be a really great step forward.
Yeah, a lot of dedicated fans. They love going to the games. We talk about it a lot here. Another thing, as far as those fans, go, why come out to a playoff game? I mean, it's usually easier to promote the regular season games. As far as a playoff game, the real draw, the real thing here for the fans is what?
I think they're going to see a really, really good game. People come to Breese Stevens because it's a really good venue to watch Ultimate in, and sometimes the games vary. When there's a big lead against a team, the game isn't quite as exciting. People check out, and there's still a lot to do at Breese Stevens. But these games are going to be really, really exciting. So.
Yeah, intensity's going to be up. I know we're looking forward to it, and looking forward to you guys getting over on Pittsburgh and moving over in the playoffs as well. Pat Schreiweiss, captain of the Radicals here. Pat, thanks for joining us. Good luck in the playoffs.
Thank you.
A special thank you to Conant Automotive in Stoughton for supporting local athletics.
All right, let's head on out to, well, I guess it wouldn't be the track. We're going cross country is how we're going to be running right now, as Brian Finnell and Alexa Richardson, the head coaches out at Middleton High School for cross country, are here. And guys, welcome on in. And for everybody that hasn't seen you before or knows about you, tell us a little bit about yourselves and how you came to be head coaches at Middleton.
Well, thanks first off for having us today. We do appreciate it. So for myself, I've been assistant coach the past 3 years as an assistant for cross country and then the lead distance coach for the track and field program. So for me, once Mez and Cindy stepped down, just was a natural progression to kind of take over and want to lead the program like I've been doing in track and field, and just really excited to be the head coach and seeing what new things we can bring to the team.
Yeah, I graduated from UW-Madison in 2012, and I pursued a career away from running for a while, and I realized that I really needed to get back into it, and I'm an assistant coach at Lodi High School for track and field, and then I know that Middleton's a huge program and very respectable, and so I applied, and now I'm with them.
Excellent. And for head coaches too, you always got to bring like a philosophy in. So philosophy-wise, what would you say is, your philosophy for coaching and training distance athletes?
You want to take lead?
Sure. I guess my biggest thing is I want to make sure that everybody knows that when they put what they put into it, they're going to get back from it. It kind of goes hand in hand with everything else in life. And one of my biggest memories and best memories from high school and college is stepping up to the starting line and looking around and knowing whatever happens, I'm sure that I trained harder than everybody else on the line. So I guess that's where I'm at with that.
Always good stuff. Now, as far as the program goes, what changes do you guys hope to bring to the program?
Well, there's going to be new workout locations. We have a new website design, new uniforms this year, so it's kind of a fresh new look all around. All the coaches besides myself are brand new, so we're just going to kind of change the workouts. In the past, we've done a little bit more speed to some degree, and my philosophy is a little bit more of strength-based, so more tempos, down tempos. So the athletes can probably expect those types of changes in the workouts, and hopefully we can get some team building activities still continuing like in the past.
Always good to set some goals before the season starts. What are the goals that you guys have and expectations for your teams?
Well, we're hoping the kids like us.
Yeah, that's always good.
I mean, we're both two brand new coaches. Nobody knows much about us. Nobody knows much about where we're from or what we want to do. And we're really hoping that, we are bringing a lot of new things to the program, but at the same time, we're not changing things for the kids too much so that it's totally different. We want them to stay in their comfort zone as much as we can too.
Right.
So.
And then, the large team goal at the end of the year, we would love to get both programs back to state. The guys have made it now 3 years in a row, and we're hoping we can make it a fourth. The girls have been really close the last 2 years, missing out by 4 points and 1 point respectively. So we're just hoping we can kind of get better week by week and, long-term goal, get back to state.
Seems like a huge endeavor, nearly 150 athletes. Good luck to you guys stepping in there now. Have a great season.
Thank you very much.
Brought to you by Conant Automotive, taking care of you by taking care of your family's car.
All right, give me a seat because we're going to talk some cheerleading right now as we bring in Holly Schmidt. She is the owner of 360 Athletics. And Holly, welcome on in. Thanks for joining us. And let's talk about what actually separates cheerleading from every other youth sport and activity. What is that?
The thing that separates cheerleading from every other youth sport is it's great because kids get to experience different aspects of different sports all rolled into one. We do dance, we do tumbling, we do stunting, jumping, all kinds of different fun things that kids get to experience all rolled into one competitive routine.
Wow, excellent. And isn't cheerleading though, I mean, only for like, you know, high school kids and girls?
Actually, our athletes start anywhere from the age of potty training all the way to 18 years old and older for some teams that take adults as well. We have boys and girls of all ages that work really well together to build strength and a really great atmosphere in the gym.
All right, so there's some other programs out there that might be similar to yours, Holly. So what sets your program apart from the others?
I think we set apart because we try to focus on creating a really great culture of family and encouragement, teaching the kids how to be humble and work together in victory and defeat, and really just trying to teach the kids how to work together to build that team atmosphere in the gym.
Now, what's the main difference, I guess, between competitive cheerleading and then high school cheerleading?
The biggest difference is in competitive cheerleading, we're working towards the goal of our routines for our competitive season. In high school cheerleading, they're focusing on learning all of the chants and cheers to keep their team amped up and going through the whole game, and we're focused on just that routine for our competitive season. Both are really great for athletes, but some kids just really prefer to have that excitement and thrill of the competition floor.
Now, something that people might not know is there's some real good benefits to cheerleading. What are some of those benefits as, you know, children grow through the sport?
The best benefits for kids is just learning how to work with other people. Being on a team is really important for kids because they're learning how to work with each other, and some that they may like, may not like. You're learning how to work as a team and grow together, and you really get to learn how to be humble and respect each other and respect your opponents. And even if you may not win that particular event, you can be respectful of the other teams that did because they were working just as hard as you were.
Holly, it sounds like great stuff. Thanks for joining us here on the Sports News. Love the shirt, by the way.
Thanks.
Thank you. We'll see you next time.
Brought to you by Conant Automotive, taking care of you by taking care of your family's car.
Welcome back to the Sports News. I'm Ellen Barrett with a special report and some special guests today. I'm joined now by Jordan Gerenstrom and Sam McCulick, and they are not only the founders of the group Mate Bros, but also a natural energy drink called Yerba Mate, and it's available across the Midwest. Plus, they both have experience in gymnastics, and they're actually joining us right now from St. Louis, Missouri, where Sam is competing at the 2016 Olympic Trials. Welcome, you guys. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we're really excited.
Awesome. And for those of us who are not Olympic athletes, could you just tell us a little bit about what these trials mean and the Olympic selection process, and what was your mindset going into this, Sam?
So this competition defines what the Olympic team is going to be composed of. There's going to be 5 guys selected after Saturday's competition of a 4-day competition process. And this is where, you know, dreams are made, and it's just kind of an exciting time for everyone, and it's really time to just get this ball rolling.
Awesome. And now after day 1 of competition, Sam, you're on top. So how does it feel leading the pack? How do you maintain that lead, you know, that you did going into day 2? And what really is the role too of Yerba Mate going into all of this?
So going into this next day of competition, it's all about putting on the performance that I want to put on. You know, just competing up to my expectations. And by doing that, I just pretend like I'm at home doing another routine at the gym that I'm comfortable in. And, you know, every day when I'm practicing all these hard routines, I trust Yerba Mate and the product that we've created, Mate Bros, to give me the energy and the feel that I need to make the most out of every turn and every practice.
Wonderful. And now, Jordan and Sam, you guys are best friends, you're business partners, you've been teammates in the past, both having a gymnastics career. And so how did all of this with Yerba Mate come about?
Yeah, we were about 10 years old, training. We were actually competing against each other at the time, and we knew of each other, and it came to the point where we ended up going to the same gym. And so we trained together since we were about 10 years old. We were introduced to yerba mate around the age of 14. And ever since then, our friendship has been strengthened by yerba mate. We took it with us to the University of Michigan, which is kind of where we really conceived the business side of Mate Bros.
Awesome. And just really quickly before we go here, for our viewers who are not familiar with yerba mate, could you just tell us a little bit what that drink is?
Get it. Yerba mate is a South American tea. It's known for the natural caffeine in the product. It's better for you than the caffeine found in coffee and green tea because of the xanthines found in the product as well. So you can try the product at any Woodman store now. We're available all over.
You can also get it at matebros.com/shop.
Awesome. And Sam, now if all goes well, you're off to Rio, so we wish you the best of luck, and please keep us updated, and we will continue to stay fueled by yerba mate in the meantime. So thank you so much for both being here today.
Most definitely. Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you so much. And the sports news will be right back right after this, only on Channel 57.
Brought to you by Conant Automotive, taking care of you by taking care of your family's car.
And a big thanks to all of our guests. Thank you as well for watching. And how about a big thank you as well to the Red Zone over on Regent Street, Rick and all the boys, and also Conant Automotive in Stoughton as well for helping power this show. Thanks again for watching. My name's Rich Reynolds. We'll see you next time on the Sports News right here on Channel 57 Sports.